Could a seemingly innocent surprise at my sister's engagement luncheon spark jealousy and chaos within our family? And in standing up to her, did I go too far? Hi. I'll do my best to keep the story straightforward, but there's a lot to unpack, so bear with me if some parts are a bit confusing. Feel free to ask for clarification afterward. I'm a 21-year-old woman with 2 siblings, my 24-year-old sister, who's engaged, and my 28-year-old brother, who's married to my sister-in-law, who's 25. My family recently had a luncheon at our parents' house to celebrate my sister's engagement. I arrived early to help set up, and my brother and his wife came a bit later. My sister and her fiancé arrived last, as usual. Everything was going smoothly at first. People were mingling, laughing, and excited about the engagement. Then my sister got a text and pulled me aside. She asked if I could step outside to meet a friend who was dropping something off for her. I didn't think much of it and went outside, only to be greeted by a giant ball of joy, a Saint Bernard, with a little bow tie around his neck. He was massive and adorable. But there was one huge problem. My sister-in-law is allergic to dogs. While her allergy isn't life-threatening, everyone in the family knows about it. I couldn't bring the dog inside. I texted my sister to let her know. She brushed it off, saying it was fine, and that the dog was a surprise and the newest member of the family. I texted back, insisting I couldn't bring him in. Standing there awkwardly with this massive dog, I didn't know what to do, so I texted my brother. He and my sister-in-law had been inside, unaware of the unfolding drama. Apparently, my brother immediately pulled my sister aside and told her she couldn't bring the dog in. He reminded her of his wife's allergy, but my sister, being stubborn as always, claimed it was an open space, and that my sister-in-law would be fine. This is when my brother dropped the bombshell. He told her that my sister-in-law was pregnant. I already knew, but they were waiting to announce it until she passed the first trimester. Instead of being happy for them, my sister was livid. She stormed outside, yanked me and the dog inside against my protests. My brother, frustrated and upset, left with his wife. The atmosphere at the lunch shifted immediately. What had been a celebratory event turned tense and awkward. Things got worse when my sister and her fiancé cut the engagement cake. During the toast, she started ranting about how selfish my brother and his wife were, claiming they couldn't even let her have one day without overshadowing her. She went on, saying they weren't the first or last couple to get pregnant, and even accused my sister-in-law of being an attention seeker who just had to be the one to give the family the first grandchild. My parents were visibly uncomfortable. They tried to shush her, but my sister was relentless, fully wrapped up in her jealousy and bitterness. I could feel the anger rising inside me, but I held my tongue as long as I could. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up, looked her dead in the eye and told her, "Green isn't a good look on you. One day you're gonna choke on your jealousy." The room went silent. Everyone was shocked, including my sister, who called me a bitch as I left. I stormed out, furious, but also feeling strangely relieved. Later, my mom called me. She said what I said was a bit harsh, but admitted my sister had been harsher. She suggested the 3 of us, my siblings and I, sit down and talk it out once things had cooled off. My dad, as usual, stayed neutral. As I reflect on everything, I'm left feeling torn. Yes, my sister was being selfish and jealous, but should I have said what I did? Could I have handled it differently? On one hand, I feel justified. She ruined a moment that could have been filled with joy. On the other, maybe I was too harsh. My sister's jealousy is clearly deep-rooted, and this was her way of lashing out. But does that give her a free pass to behave so badly? The moral part of me wonders if there was a way to diffuse the situation without escalating it. Was there some middle ground I missed? A moment where I could have taken a breath and de-escalated the conflict, instead of snapping? Maybe I should have found a way to help her understand that life is full of moments for everyone, and one person's joy doesn't diminish another's. But at that moment, all I saw was red. Her selfishness was choking out any compassion I could have had. I still haven't heard from the rest of my relatives who were at the luncheon, and I'm not sure if they even want to get involved. AITA, for standing up to my sister. Or could I have handled it with more grace? And that's where things stand for now. Looking back, I wonder if I could have handled the situation better, or if my sister's jealousy was bound to explode no matter what. But what do you think? Was I right to call her out, or should I have kept quiet for the sake of peace? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you ever had to stand up to a sibling, or been caught in a similar family drama? Share your stories in the comments below, and thanks for tuning in to the Reddit Drive.